Good morning. My name is Diane Dano, and this is the first video of hopefully many of my rabbits and my garden and soon-to-be chickens. So without further ado, let me introduce you to my rabbit shed. Here is my rabbit shed. It is an 8x12 prefab shed. It's got a double hung front door, and it's got a little window in the back and a 4x4 ramp. I installed above, or actually my wonderful husband, installed above. They are motion activated solar lights, and they work very efficiently for what we're using it for. Inside, we had also purchased, let me show you here, a solar light kit. It came with these 3 panels that were very easy to hook together in the brackets, and my husband screwed it at an angle on the side, so in the wintertime it catches most of the sun. The doors kind of face the east side of our house where the sun rises, so it catches most of the sun. And the cable or the cord comes inside behind our first rabbit cage and goes up the top along the door, and it hooks into this battery here. Let me see if I can get you a good shot of it. It's got 5 USB ports. The kit also came with 4 lights, LED lights, that I hung along up the roof, and it goes along all the gables. And each light has its own switch, but I just leave the switches in the on position, and I work the on-off switch on the battery unit itself. I purchased meat pen rabbits that I bought, and in that meat pen I bought one male. I named him Jacob. And here he is. Oh, he's so inquisitive, and he loves being pet. Let me see if he'll come to the door. Oh, he loves being pet. He'll just lay right down, and I tell him frequently, I could just pet him all day and lose track of time. It's so relaxing. I weighed them this morning, and Jacob weighed in at just over 9 pounds. And he is nearly sexually mature. The breeder that I bought him from, New Discovery Farm in northern Vermont, I was told that he would be of breeding age the month of November this year, 2016. Oh yes, Jacob, you are such a good boy. Because this is intended for the male cage and not females. My female cages, I'm going to use drop-down nest boxes. For him to have a little box, because we're in southern Rhode Island, a little like a nesting box. I still had a box that a garden sprayer, a pump sprayer was in, and so I just figured it was the perfect size, and he loves playing around with this. I find this jumbled around in his 30 by 36 cage. Also in each cage is a ceramic floor tile, which he is on right now because it's right in front of his door. Hello. Oh my goodness, yes, Jacob. The plan is I have 6 30 by 36 cages. Still need to build proper holders for the dropping trays. Currently at the corners that Jacob likes to go, or that they all like to go to the bathroom at, I purchased these little tin signs for $1 a piece or so, and it just kind of helps protect the splatter and spray and stuff, so the droppings go in the trays. So the original plan was for 6 breeding rabbits. I'm starting out with 3, and they are New Zealand whites. To see how I do with the harvesting of the babies. And I'll use the 3 empty cages for the first litter or 2 that I get from my females. And we'll see how we go. If I do okay, then I might venture out into a Rex breed to have a better pellet. So I have Jacob, and then I have an empty cage right below him. That's going to be where the other breeding male goes. And then I have these four over here. These are, again, 30 by 36. And they have a nesting box. These four, they all have nesting boxes right here. And it is 8 inches tall. So it hangs 8 inches down from the cage itself. It is 10 inches deep and 14 inches wide. I got this plan by watching YouTube videos. I think it's Charlie Crow from Hillbilly Half Acre Rabbitry, or Hillbilly Half Acre Homestead. And that's how they do their females. They do the drop-down nest boxes. That is 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch hardware cloth that I used with J clips, and above this empty cage, I have USB powered fans that I'm going to install on the back side of these. That way in the summertime, there's a little bit of air movement in the cages. And then beyond that, up there in that large brown box, that is a solar powered attic vent that is going to be installed. Being that it's at the end of October, don't really need that in here. But I have 2 empty female cages, the 2 empties with the drop-down nest boxes, and some excess hardware cloth there. I have planned to try to make some hay cages in hopes that, especially like Jacob's nest box here, I put the roughage, the hay, during his nighttime feeding on his ceramic plate that is right there. But a lot of it winds up in the nest box, and I'm concerned over wasting it. So I'm hoping with more of a solid bottom, and like maybe even in the corner somewhere, where he can eat more of it, pull it out and eat it, in hopes that I won't have as much waste. But anyways, without further ado, I have 2 females, New Zealand whites. This is Rebecca. I decided I wanted to do really name tags for their cages that gives their name, their breed, an estimated date of birth. I didn't get the actual date of birth from the breeder. A morning and evening feeding routine, a personality trait, and a possible treat. Because my husband and I, sometimes on weekends, we like to go to camping in New Hampshire, and so our neighbor is really friendly and comes in and helps us feed our animals. And this is Rebecca, and again, oh, she loves to be pet. Rebecca and Jacob are very similar in age. Hello, sweetheart. Oh, you're my beautiful Bella. Yes, ma'am. And she weighed at almost 7.5 pounds this morning. I think she is a little younger than Jacob. And she, again, the breeder said she would be of breeding age in November, but I'm thinking she's not going to be ready until December. I'm going to wait till she is at least 10 pounds. Oh, and she just loves to be pet. And again, here's her ceramic tile, and I give her just a few things in here. They all have a few things to fool around with during the day to keep themselves occupied. Oh, sweetheart, I could just pet you all day. It is just so relaxing. And she's shedding fur. Oh, she's adorable. Again, she's 7.5 pounds. And just loves being pet. And this is her nest box. I put the hay in there originally, and when I introduced her to her cage, I intentionally put her in this nest box so she knew that this was an okay place to go, and she would find her way out of the top. The top has these same plastic door guards, so she doesn't get cut up because I cut through the cage flooring, so that it doesn't poke her or cut her or hurt her in any way. And then down here, our original meat pen, one of the females, she was a year-old female, and the breeder bred her for me, so she was pregnant when I brought her home. She passed away 2 weeks after we brought her home, and I just figured that there was something wrong with her pregnancy. I contacted the breeder, and the breeder gave me another female. She is younger still. She is, I weighed her, when I weighed her this morning, she is just over 6 pounds now. I named her Zilpa. She is continually shy. So they're all under the same feeding plan. They're J feeders that I purchased. And they don't have the mesh, but they have the perforation here, so the dust still goes through. But the old, I bartered for an old from a neighbor a rabbit hutch, and it came with their old J feeders, and it had the screen in it, and it was just warped and twisted, and I wanted something that was heavier duty, so I went ahead with these, and they're a wide mouth feeder. Here, let me show you in the empty ones. It's a wide mouth feeder. So inside, here we go. Inside, it really protrudes, so their heads, as they get older and bigger, can still fit in and feed. And I find that this interior part, it holds just the perfect amount of feed for a morning and evening feeding. So this is what I measure it up to, and I just fill it to fill this up. And I plan to free feed the females when they're pregnant and when they have their babies in here with them, and then reduce them slowly and get them back to just this little amount here. When I was installing these nest boxes, I did not start installing them properly, and I discovered on this one here, I didn't have a lip for me to put the door guards on. So I need to figure out something to put on here. So this one wasn't an option at this point. And this one up here is missing part of the door guard as well. Let me see if I can get a good shot of it. So this part here even has some protruding. So my husband and I are working on an idea where we can put some kind of a protector here, so the females that we do put in here and the babies, the grow outs, they don't get hurt on there either. That's why we didn't use these two or put the females side by side. But again, we're working on a tray support that will also clear up this lip. It's about 2 inches more that we need to. Hello, Rebecca. Oh my goodness. Oh, she just loves being pet, just like Jacob. And they get jealous, and when they hear me giving another one attention, they'll start being aggressive with their toys in their cages and making a lot of noise to get attention again. And they're really, oh, they're just a joy to have. And again, I'm starting with New Zealand whites because, according to all my research, it between New Zealand whites and the Californian breeds, they're considered the best variety for meat purposes, for harvesting, for raising them for meat, like you would chicken or pigs or cows. And that rabbit meat is supposed to be the most nutritious, highest in protein and lowest in fat content. So that's what we're starting with. And then the Rex breed is also considered an okay meat variety, but the pelts are a little bit better. So the plan is to humanely raise them. And as you see, they're quite happy in here. They have an option of getting off of the cage floor with the ceramic tile. They have a chew board to help them with their teeth and little playthings to interest them. And plenty of water and food, and they're interacted with. I come out and interact with them at least twice a day, but I also try to come out 2 or 3 times during the midday, just to kind of hang out in here. If I don't pet them and handle them, I at least sit out in here and I chat with them. Zilpa, she has yet to greet me at her door, but we've had her now for 2.5 months, and she's becoming more friendly, but she still is very hesitant. And this is the window. It's a screened window, and it rolls up and down, goes up and down. And I'll show you the outside. Hold on. This is the back side of the shed, and there's the window. And if I were to go up to that, I could see Zilpa and Rebecca. That's on the other side where they have. We do have, as you see, we have a yellow lab. We named him Yeller, my son's favorite movie when he was younger and when we got him. So that was his crate when we crate trained him in the house. Inside is 2 of our traveling cages. And then I think that's a 24 by 30 cage with a pull-out tray. And that, along with that rabbit hutch that we bartered for, is what we put the 3 rabbits in that I just introduced.